That's a song from the aerobic scene in Pieces, which for me has been like my whole fucking life I've been looking for this song. And in fact, when Bob Borowski did the DVD for Grindhouse, he called that chapter Running Around. And when Camp Sugar Music approached me about doing like a collection, I mean, they have 8,000 unreleased songs. So I was like, okay, it's a bit overwhelming, and I don't really have time to listen to 8,000 songs. But when they finally did it, we had when they finally gave me the selection of like 400 to kind of choose from, the first one was Running Around. I was like, oh my God, that's the fucking song from Pieces. That song, because it was a music library. So they would just use the songs in like a bunch of different movies. People would just license them. The music's Pieces of music by Cam. But it's from a movie called Beyond the Frigola. So I brought copies of Red Light Disco here, which we will have at the table tomorrow. But yes. All right, but it's great to be here.
Eli, I believe you have some information to share with us, what you've been up to lately?
Yes. I don't know if you guys heard, but I'm launching a new horror mini studio called The Horror Section. So it's exactly, but if someone came to me with a really interesting proposition, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and kind of the holy grail of making independent movies that I could never crack was distribution. Because even though I've gotten my films distributed, there's always this lottery where you've got to sell it to Lionsgate, you've got to get it to Sony, and then you've got to fit into their schedule. So it's like this weird timing of what you're doing and what they're looking for. Like I remember with Green Inferno, Lionsgate's like, oh, we already have You're Next. I was like, what? So why not just get both? They're like, yeah, but that's our August movie. Like in their minds, they had a slot and they already filled it. So it's not about the movie, it's often about the other movies they have. But seeing what, Damien Leone did with Terrifier and Terrifier 3 and Iconic, it just changed. I was like, oh, we're there. We're at the point where we can release a movie unrated in 2,700 theaters, and it's going to open bigger than like $150 million tentpole studio film. That's what we need, is to know, because often I'd say, why can't we release our movies unrated? And they would say, well, if you do an unrated movie, televisions won't accept your commercials. I'm like, no, I'm not going to have unrated commercials. They go, no. Even if you have unrated content, which is, it's fucking crazy that it doesn't make sense. They're like, television won't accept it if it's because they're worried that their sponsors will get mad that they're advertising an unrated film, blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of a tricky thing, but what, they did, with Bloody Disgusting and Dread Central and sort of direct going to the fans. Now that we have social media, it's over. We don't fucking need television anymore.
Yeah.
We can just post it. It's like, we now fully, and it's just kind of what I started from Cabin Fever until now with, thank you. I wasn't fishing, but I'll take it. There's one advantage of being old is that, you're fucking doing it a long time. You can, learn some things, but horror truly is its own ecosystem. There's the conventions, there's the films, there's so much more to being a horror fan now. The online culture, the cosplay, that I said, I want to do a studio that'll be for the next, 5 or 10 years making, now it's time to really get going. Like if everything I learned from working with filmmakers and making movies and making studio movies and making indie movies, what if I could control the process from start to finish? And then someone said, well, there's this new company out called Republic, and what they do is they can do a public offering, and you can offer a piece of your company to the public. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, I was like, is this like Kickstarter? What the fuck is this? I was totally skeptical. I'm like, is this some crypto scam? And they're like, no, it's a legit platform where basically, if I'm raising money, which I am, or I have the money, like, you take 10% of your company and you can offer it for the public to buy. Because if you're an average horror fan, I as a fan could never buy into a movie. But now, because they're a registered SEC trade, without getting too boring, for $100, $500, $1,000, you can buy ownership in a company like a stock. So it's basically, people have said, if you were a stock, I'd buy you. So I thought, okay, well, I don't want to have to put it all on one movie because then it's all or nothing. What if we look at a company? I think about my IP. I was like, Green Inferno now is like gaining steam. Thank you. Yeah, it's like 10 years, but it takes. Look at Terrifier. Look at Art the Clown. When was he introduced? 2011, 2016. It's like we've. And now everyone's like, wow, how did Terrifier 3 happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happened. It's because people have been watching it and loving Art the Clown since 2011, 2012, and 2016, and Damien had time to develop the character. What if we develop the next 25 years of characters, like 40, 50 years from now? Because what matters is the IP. So what if I could build a company where people could buy into it and be at the exact same level that I'm at, same ownership level, there's no difference, and we all own it together. And then wouldn't you root for the movie in a different way? Even if it's fractional, even if it's $100, you still owned it, you'd be like incentivized to want it to be like, and then you get special access. So it seemed like a really cool, interesting idea, and I was like, fuck it. And then I found out that, after I said it, they were like, yeah, Robert Rodriguez might do one with this company too, and Snoop Dogg. Other people are like, this seems interesting, but do I want to be the first one out? So we could have announced it yesterday, but for those who haven't seen, this is the video we just put out about, and we'll talk about the horror section. Dim the light and cue that video. Dim the lights.
He's gonna run down there.
Oh, he's running. Running around to dim the lights. I'm Eli Roth. You might know me as the creator of some of your favorite horror movies. Why don't we pause? Can we wait till the lights are out?
Scott, can we wait till the lights are down?
Stop it. Restart it. Kill the lights. Yeah, those are them. Those are the correct switches. There's not unless that was the ghost of Romero going, you motherfucker. That was my idea. Wes Craven's like, I'm gonna fuck up your presentation here. I'm just kidding. I love Wes. And all right, now play it.
There you go.
We had it. We were so there. I'm Eli Roth. You might know me as the creator of some of your favorite horror movies. Or as the producer of some of your favorite horror films. Or maybe from these TV shows. Maybe I even scared your kids. Or you might just know me as this guy, the Bear Jew. After 20 years on all sides of the camera, I am starting a new 360-degree horror company. The horror section, and I want you, the fans, to be a part of it. For the first time ever, the fans can now buy a piece of my new company and have ownership in the intellectual property. What matters in horror? The IP. Think of the greatest horror icons. Their fan base is only growing. What if we together created the next wave of IP, where you will have direct ownership in not just the movies, but in the characters? Oh my God. Your investment piece goes up when the movies are hits. When we make money, you make money. Not only are you investing in the new movies that I produce, I'm going to bring in all of my own projects. Hostel TV, Cabin Fever TV, sequels to Haunt, The Green Inferno, Clown, and anything else that I create. This is the first time an opportunity like this has ever been created, and it's only possible through the investment platform Republic. My whole career, people have told me, you can't do that. That's too sick. Well, I am now building my own company to make it myself and release it independently with no studio interference. Here's how. The horror section is going to have a strategic partnership with Iconic Releasing. Iconic just released Terrifier 3, and we all saw what happened there. They go directly to the fans to release hardcore, unrated, event, theatrical horror movies. We know that horror is much more than movies and TV. It's a culture. We're going to be doing podcasts, we'll be doing books and graphic novels, we will be doing live events. You are owning a piece of all of it. Think of it like Marvel for Monsters. Marvel don't sue me. You're gonna get special horror section merchandise. You're gonna get early access and information on all of my projects. Some of the really high investors are going to get to have dinner with me, Zooms with me. I'll read your scripts, on-set visits, and if you invest $1 million in the horror section, I will kill you. On screen. Fucking insane! Making movies outside the studios, releasing them independently. A lot of people go, Eli, are you slitting your own throat? And I go, well, what's wrong with that? All right, thanks. We can have the lights back on, please.